It feels like the world of AI is moving at a million miles an hour, right? So today, we're going to cut through all that noise from the latest newsletters and give you a really clear signal on what's actually next. We're looking at the real story, what's happening in the labs, what's launching on the market, and of course, the big strategic moves being made in the boardrooms. Let's get right into it.
So let's just jump in with a huge question, one that is completely reshaping the entire tech landscape. What happens when the software we build isn't really for us anymore, but for other AIs? This one question, seriously, is the key to understanding the next major shift, the beginning of the agent era.
All right, here's our game plan. We're going to start with the new tools that you can get your hands on right now. Then we'll peek inside the research labs to see what's just over the horizon. From there, we'll zoom out to the big strategic shifts, and then finally, we'll connect all the dots and see what the big picture really looks like. Okay, first up, AI's new toolbox. And we're not just talking about little incremental updates here. We are talking about tools that are making AI more accessible, way more powerful, and this is the important part, more autonomous than ever before. Let's see what's out there.
A huge theme we're seeing is the rise of what people are calling agentic assistants. The best way to think about it is like this. A normal software tool is kind of like a hammer. Yeah, it's powerful, but you've got to be the one to swing it. An agentic assistant? That's more like hiring a carpenter. You just tell them, hey, build me a chair, and they figure out how to do it. That's the leap we're talking about, from operating a tool to actually delegating a whole task.
And this isn't just theory, right? Here are some fresh examples right from the headlines. You've got TabMail, which is basically an agentic assistant for your inbox. Bayes Automations acts as your personal AI data analyst, and it works even when you're asleep. And tools like VibeAround and Kimaflare are bringing that same autonomous power right into a coder's workflow. Every single one of these points to that future of delegation, not just operation.
Now this is where it gets really interesting. Check out this quote from Product Hunt about the new ChatGPT Images 2.0. The key phrase is thinking capabilities. So what on earth does that actually mean? Well, we're talking about an AI that can reason about the visual it's creating. It gets things like composition and style and context in a way that's just a massive step up from simple prompt to image.
So this thinking layer, it allows you to create, refine, and validate your visuals all in one smooth process. It can handle different aspect ratios, it gives you multiple options to choose from, it just radically speeds up the whole journey from a simple idea to a final ready-to-use asset. It's a huge boost for creative efficiency.
Okay, so we've seen the tools that are hitting the market. Now let's go a layer deeper and look at the fundamental research that's making all of this possible. This is where we get a little sneak peek of what's coming just around the corner.
And wow, the breadth of research is just staggering. I mean, on one end, you've got these commercial-scale virtual fashion try-on systems, and on the complete other end of the spectrum, you have AI being used to design brand-new computer chips from scratch. We're seeing breakthroughs in understanding art, in making these teeny-tiny language models for your smartwatch, and even in molecular deep learning. The big takeaway here is that innovation is just firing on all cylinders, from the huge to the tiny, from the creative to the super technical.
Okay, here is a fascinating little detail from a recent paper in Nature that really jumped out. It turns out an LLM's confidence is in this constant tug-of-war. On one side, you have something called choice supportive bias, which makes it overconfident in its first answer. But then it systematically overweights any contradictory advice, which can actually lead to underconfidence. Understanding this weird push and pull is absolutely crucial for building AI that we can actually trust.
And speaking of on-device smarts, let's talk about micro-language models, or MU-LMs. You can think of a MU-LM as having a really fast little helper right on your watch. It might not write the whole email for you, but it gives you the first few words instantly so you're not just staring at a blinking cursor. That's what these tiny models do for AI assistants. They get rid of that frustrating lag time and make the AI feel instantly responsive.
So we've seen the tools and we've peeked at the research. Now let's pull way back to the 30,000-foot view. All this incredible research isn't happening in a vacuum. It's forcing a massive strategic rethink in boardrooms all over the world. So what are the big conversations that are shaping the future?
This quote from Buck's CEO, Aaron Levy, man, it just nails the core strategic question perfectly. It's the same one we started with. The entire enterprise software landscape is being reevaluated based on this one idea, that pretty soon the main user might be an AI agent, not a person. This is the heart of the agent era.
And as these autonomous agents start to pop up everywhere, it creates a really urgent, profound new challenge: cybersecurity.
When AIs can find and exploit vulnerabilities at machine speed, a human speed defense just isn't an option anymore. The old models are fundamentally broken. It's a race now, and the stakes could not be higher.
This new race has 4 key stages. It kicks off with autonomous detection, then verification. But the really crucial game-changing steps are coordination and patch propagation. The consensus that's building is that open-source code and tooling are going to be essential to level the playing field, basically allowing the good guy AIs to coordinate and push out fixes faster than the attackers can move.
The sheer scale of this transformation means that no single company can go it alone. So, a huge strategic trend we're seeing is the creation of these powerful alliances between tech giants and big industry leaders, all to accelerate this shift.
For example, you see NVIDIA and GoogleCloud teaming up specifically to push agentic and physical AI forward. At the same time, you've got DeepMind partnering with the world's top consulting firms. We're talking Accenture, Bain, McKinsey, to get these frontier AI models embedded into huge global organizations. These aren't just press releases. These partnerships are engines designed to accelerate mass adoption.
And the strategic focus isn't just commercial. There's a growing movement to apply all this incredible power to solve some of the world's biggest challenges. NVIDIA, for instance, is putting significant AI resources into areas like climate science, conservation, disaster monitoring, and recycling.
So, we've looked at the tools, the research, and the high-level strategy. In this last section, let's go ahead and connect all the dots and synthesize these trends into one single picture of where AI is headed right now.
So what does this all mean when you put it together? A really clear pattern emerges. The tools are getting more autonomous and easier to use. The strategy is all about collaboration and scale. There's this deep focus on making systems open and robust, and a real drive to use this tech for positive impact. So the crucial point is this. The technical innovation happening in the labs and the business investments happening in the boardroom are finally intersecting and pushing in the exact same direction.
Which brings us to our final thought. We started by asking what happens when AI becomes the primary user of software. But maybe the more personal question to leave you with is this. As these incredibly powerful agentic tools become our colleagues, how are we going to have to redefine what it even means to be a team?